My name is Matos Marlison, a graduate of Global Affairs at the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences here at Columbia. Before we start, just a few reminders. Columbia's Wi-Fi is free and open. Please, use the QR code on your badge to download BCS app with our schedule and sessions and to connect with the audience and speakers. The event is live streamed on our website. Feel free to share it with those who couldn't join us in person. The event is fully booked, so we kindly ask not to save space in the auditorium. Seating will be on a first-come, first-served basis. If you leave the auditorium, someone else will take your place in order to enable others to participate. Please take your belongings with you during the breaks. Eating and drinking is not allowed in the auditorium. There are live streaming rooms on the first floor and in the lobby where you'll be able to grab a coffee and connect with peers. Submit your questions through our app to be selected by the moderator. Please feel free to take pictures and share them on social media using hashtag BCS23.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mariana Judici, and I'm a Master of International Affairs student at Columbia SIPA. It's a pleasure to have you again with us this year. And on behalf of our team, I am happy to welcome you, our audience at the forum and online, to our second edition of the Brazil Climate Summit. I am thrilled to introduce you in the next 2 days to critical topics on climate, Brazil, and the world, which are shaping not only our generation, but defining the future of humanity and the world as we know it. I hope that once again, we can convene, reflect, and gather insights on our biggest challenges and opportunities, ready to take climate action into effect in Brazil. To start the day and to share our purpose message for this year, I'd like to invite to the stage Luciana Ribeiro, founding partner at EB Capital and chairwoman of the Brazil Climate Summit Board.
Hello, everyone. It's a nice pleasure to be here with all of you. Until recently, people thought that in a forest, each tree was competing with the others. They would compete to have more sunlight, more space in the soil, and to receive more nutrients. But Suzanne Simard, a professor from the University of British Columbia, has proven this to be a mistake. Trees can compete, but mostly they collaborate. If you look beneath the soil, there is a massive network. This network allows trees to communicate, share information, and exchange resources. Mother trees, as defined by Suzanne, are key to improve the way new trees survive. Trees are not independent. They are interconnected. And this interconnection makes the forest survive, makes the forest stronger. We, as humans, have a lot to learn from the forests, because we too will only survive and become stronger if we are able to collaborate. To succeed as a planet, we will have to forget our divisions, the ones we are so used to. It doesn't matter if we are from a developed or a developing country, from the north or the south, from the west or the east. But let's face the brutal facts. Divisions are particularly happening when people are in fear. And we seem to be living the age of fear. Fear to be hungry when the next El Niño arrives, fear of being hit by an unpredictable war, fear of not having enough heat to go through winter, fear of the next natural disaster that will certainly happen, fear of having even more people dragged into poverty. July alone was the month where we saw some brutal records being broken. The higher temperatures, the most disasters, and so on and so forth. That does not mean we won't have competition. Competition is not bad in the right form. In the climate environment, competition among companies has led us to develop new technologies and new business models. Competition for more investments has led to improved green policies among countries. New legal frameworks and development models have emerged. But competition alone won't be enough. We need to cooperate. When we look at the last 12 months since our last event, we have been making significant progress in many ways, but it's not enough. Last Friday, the United Nations called for more action on all fronts. For the goals of the Paris Agreement to be achievable, we will have to accelerate our efforts and include everyone. And by including everyone, it does not mean treating all countries the same. Different countries have different needs. Collaboration means each one doing its part. Last week, the G20 brought attention to the need to help the more vulnerable economies and foster financing alternatives. We need to move fast to mitigate and adapt to the climate crisis. And what's the role of Brazil? Because we Brazilians must also be part of this new global effort. We need to lead by example. We need to turn plans into actions and play a leading role in this new industrial revolution. We have a lot to offer to the world. As you'll see in the next 2 days, Brazil's path should focus on 3 approaches. First, we must reduce our emissions. Today, they mostly come from land use. So protecting the Amazon and our biomes is a must. We have made significant progress here in the past, but not enough. To sustain long-term, low land use emissions, we need to create economically viable models for the people in our forests. This is a relevant part of the solution. We are a commodity superpower that today feeds a relevant part of the world. We need to keep improving our efficiency to produce more with less. Second, we can and we will be a hub for the world. Among large economies, Brazil has by far the cleanest energy grid. Last year, 92% of the electricity produced in Brazil came from renewable sources. Most developed countries want to achieve this in 20, 30 years from now. And our potential to expand clean energy production is enormous. We can be home to different industries from various sectors interested in remodeling their way of doing business. We also have immense experience with biofuels, which will be fundamental to a green transition. And we are home to some of the critical minerals that will be essential for it. I could list several other areas in which we have a good starting point. Last, but certainly not least, over the coming years, we will have to prove that a new economic development model is possible, a model through which we regenerate our planet while enhancing living conditions to our people. This can only be achieved through a culture of collaboration. Brazil will lead the G20, is leading the Mercosur, and will host COP30. We have the responsibility to foster regional solutions and influence new regulatory frameworks in the green transition. Brazil has the opportunity to shape a culture of collaboration in geopolitics. So here today, let me speak directly to you, our audience. You are composed of business leaders, entrepreneurs, students, academia, policymakers, and investors from different countries. We are facing our greatest challenge as humans. We can still make it, but it will require a global effort. If only a few economies succeed in reducing their emissions while others fail, we will all fail collectively. So now as we must recalibrate our economies at breakneck speed, we have to redefine how we interact in the world. For the first time ever, the isolated efforts of one country won't be enough. Within the next 2 days, we will talk a lot about this new paradigm. Collaborative competition or competitive collaboration, you name it. I invite each of you, speakers and audience, to think along these lines. How can we speed up the solution to some specific sectors by collaborating while competing? Let's get practical about it. And talking about collaboration, let me take a minute to recognize our board members, executive team, and every volunteer. Your tireless efforts have brought this event to life. We have worked an entire year because we believe this discussion is fundamental and because we believe Brazil has a role to play. John Lennon once said he was a dreamer, but that he was not the only one. And he had a vision of a united planet where all people could live as one. The time to realize Lennon's dream has come more than ever. We need to live as one, and we need to act fast. Enjoy the summit, and together, let's shape our shared destiny. Let's live as one.